Now this is the Better Alphabet Song, and again, it is a motor, memory, muscle-based approach to learners not learning or remembering the individual letters and sounds, but actually being given the individual letters and sounds. Follow with my finger and make sure that you use those special hands to show those sounds. That's right, and your superhero arms whenever we make those sounds. That's right, that's right. Here we go, ready? A says ah, 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 but it can also say a, 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 a. B says b, 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 and C says but it can also say. Raise your hand if you can tell me why we sang before S or C, Mr. Walker.
Because C says more than S.
Very good thinking. C says much more than it says S, and so we sang that sound first. Very good thinking. D says d, 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 d. Make sure your eyes are glued to my pointer. E says eh, 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 but it can also say E, 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 and F says and G says g, 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 but it can also say j, 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 j. Make sure you're using those lips, tongue, and teeth and really working those muscles so they remember these sounds. H says and I says but it can also say I, and J says j, 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 and K says and L says and M says and N says and O says but it can also say oh. Good. Keep your eyes glued to my finger. Don't look at my mouth. Look at my finger. P says p, 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 and Q says qua, 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 qua. Stop phrase question. Why did I sing QU even though there is only a Q there? Isabel.
Because Q and U, they never leave each other.
Q and U never leave each other, but I like to say Q never goes anywhere without his best buddy U, and together they make one sound, which is qua. U is not afraid. U can go off by himself, but Q will never go anywhere without his best buddy U, and together they make one sound, qua. And actually, we should pencil in a little U after that Q, just so that they're together. R says r, 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 and S says and T says and U says but it can also say U, and V says and W says whoa, and X says and Y says yeah, but it can also say E or I or E or I or E. Raise your hand if you can tell me why Y has 3 sounds. Have that right back there.
Because he's sneaky and he sneaked into the closets and stole their cake.
He's sneaky, that's right, he's sneaky. Why? He stuck into whose closets to steal their cakes?
E and I.
Good thinking. He snuck into E and I's closet and he took one of each of their superhero suits. And now whenever he sits at the end of a word where he thinks no one is watching him, that's right, or even in the middle, he will always be wearing either his E suit or his eye suit. As long as he's not at the front. If he's at the front, he's not going to do anything but what he's supposed to. He's going to say, yeah.
Like yellow?
Like yellow, that's right. Because he thinks everybody can see him when he's at the front. Just like you are always going to do the right thing at the beginning of the line, right? Because you're the line leader, everybody can see you. Very good. And always look at the picture. If you're not sure, you can check out that picture to remember what sounds he can make. Okay, we're almost done. Z says, so now I know my letter sounds, and so my song is done. Excellent thinking. Well, hopefully that gave you a pretty good idea of what the Better Alphabet song sounds like. And really trust me when I tell you that song's got tremendous bang for its buck. In that first 2 weeks, you will see the most tremendous difference with regard to what your class can do and how much they have under their belt to bring to the table to more fully partake in the activities that you're doing with literacy, whether it be reading, whether it be writing. If you're pairing that with a simultaneously ongoing sharing of secrets as they come up throughout the instructional day, then you're really double timing it. And the whole philosophy here is that there is no right order to teach any letter or sound skill. T is equally important to TH, no more, no less. So really, there's no purpose or point in having to follow some linear pathway in terms of who gets what when, whether it be by grade level or even by reading ability. Giving everybody everything on a buffet type style allows no learner to be overwhelmed and no learner to be underwhelmed. Everyone can pick up and take what they're ready for at their own pace, but it's all out there and available and ready for the taking. Now, to back up, the two things you want to keep in mind when you're singing this Better Alphabet song are muscle mouth and eye glue. Muscle mouth because this is a motor memory track that you are using to put the information in. It is not going in the same way that the secrets do into the social emotive centers. They're not connecting it to feelings or social experiences. It is also not going in the cognitive processing center as it would if you were trying to teach symbols and sound relationships. It is going straight into body intelligence, muscle motor memory, the same place you store how to hit a ball, how to swing a tennis racket. In order to utilize muscle memory effectively, you have to have fluid motion all the way through to follow through, which means you are really, really going to over-articulate your lips, tongue, and teeth. And that's the key when you're doing the Better Alphabet song. So I like to give, just to kind of speed that along, I like to give the kids a motor mouth, I'm sorry, no, not a motor mouth award, a muscle mouth award. God forbid you gave a motor mouth award. No, a muscle mouth award. And sometimes I'll do it boys against girls. It doesn't always have to be, individualized. So I might say, okay, let's see who's got the best muscle mouths. The boys or the girls, ready, go. Now, that means they're going to really work their lips, tongue, and teeth while they're singing this song. So that's where you get that A says, ah, 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 but it can also say a. It's just really, really working the lips, tongue, and teeth. I will even tell them that your lips, tongue, and teeth are going to get really strong and have muscles. And if you're just kind of hanging back and singing like you're not really there, then your muscle mouth is going to be scrawny while everybody else's is giant and strong. And that usually will pull some of the ones that have a tendency to hang back more into the mix. Now, the eye glue is important because if you have a class where discipline sometimes is a challenge, which in any early grade class or class where you have more at-risk learners, it sometimes is the case. You need to make sure that their eyes are glued to your finger so that when your finger is pointing to a particular letter, that the kids understand that what you see is what you sing. So they can't be fascinated by the movements of your mouth, which they will tend to be because you're over-articulating. You have to explain to them when you're singing, C says, if you're not looking at the C while you're singing the C, if you're looking at my face, that's going to be a problem when you see the word at, because my face won't be there next to the A and the T. This will be. So you have to see what you sing. You have to see it when you sing it if you want your muscles to keep it. So eye glue award just means that if they start straying and looking at the floor, playing with their shoes or, doing whatever they can do, you just give a quick reminder like, oh my gosh, the girls are going to lose because I see 3 girls that lost their eye glue. L says la 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 la. so that you're just taking some little quick departures as needed to bring them back into the mix. And it is something they are capable of doing. Granted, it is a long alphabet, and they like to decompress with some shoe playing time, every 30 seconds or so in an early grade classroom. They have to leave those shoes alone and just focus on you for that minimal amount of time. And I find that the eye glue and the muscle mouth awards work beautifully. And my award is they just get to line up first. Boys Against Girls does it really well. Now that's all for this first vlog. I didn't get interrupted as many times as I thought, but each time you saw the video shift over or flip in a way that seemed awkward, it was because of either a dog, a kid, a cat, or a husband. So sorry, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I promise that the next few vlogs that I do will be much shorter and to the point. But I will also detour things that I might be looking at wanting to talk about and prioritize things that you want to ask me about. So if there is anything that you have a question over, would like explained, would like more information about, whether it be a video that's already on the Secret Story website, something that's in the Secret Story book, or if you're coming at this without any knowledge of the secrets at all and it's just a general question, whether it be about sight words, word families, anything, I will be happy to talk about it. I will tell you that I'm not really always an in-the-box thinker. I'm pretty out of the box. So hopefully it won't become controversial as far as some of the answers that I give, but I promise I'll do my best to align it with what the research shows, the research being the neural research, and how that seems to be, because this is a new frontier, how that seems to be driving what works best and what's most effective in our classrooms. So thank you so much, and I hope that you subscribe, and I really hope to get some feedback and some questions so that I can direct these vlogs more toward what is most useful to you. Thanks so much again. Have a great weekend.